The Brompton Guy!
Yeah, just in the off chance, yeah.
Yes, this is the workshop where everything gets built. So at the moment, yeah, just set up for, just about to start building on the Brompton. So things start with bare tubes. So you have bare tubes for the rear triangles, frame parts for rear triangles, that kind of thing.
Yep. These are all Brompton parts here?
These are all Brompton parts, yes.
Right.
Mostly, yes, yeah.
Okay.
If you're too curious, I have to look.
Yeah, so this is
Get
all
a couple of shots of that, yeah.
How do you feel it's developed over the years? Like, is there certain stuff you know you need to keep stocked and all that? Because I'm assuming you true and do all your own wheels and everything here, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Pretty much what it's been for the past 5 years or so at least is trying to become more efficient.
Yeah.
As all stuff is. Efficiency is difficult, especially when you start building more and more things. The big change really, which is I really started doing it pretty much this year, is because I now make so many different types of rear triangles and things.
Yeah.
I used to make just a batch of 10 rear triangles.
Yeah.
And that'd be it, that'd be great. And then I start making ones for different sizes of wheels, and then belt drive ones, and ones built in. So it was getting impractical to make batches of so many different rear triangles because I never actually have the right one built up, ready to go.
Yeah.
So now what I do is I make batches of all the parts I need. Then for each build, I take the parts off the rack, build that rear triangle, it goes off to painting, goes to the customer.
Yeah.
So trying to become more efficient that way. And again, it's kind of the same thing with wheel building, is keep more of the bits in stock, get fancier electronic truing jigs so I can build wheel faster, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
I'd love one.
they're fun. I mean, the system I've got now, it's
Yeah. What is it you've got now?
yeah. So this is the fancy system. So this is
Oh.
yeah, so
Oh, a
it's
TS3. I think it's
a TS3, which are they don't make them anymore. Yes, that's the Park fancy one, but it has electronic dial gauges which are connected to a computer system which is connected to
oh wow.
so it gives you proper dial readouts of what everything's doing. So you basically get a plot of how true the wheel is. As much as anything is, I always knew that wheels I built were true
Good,
and
yeah,
straight and good
yeah.
and that. But now you can actually put a number onto it. It is true to 0.2 of a millimetre.
Yeah.
So you can actually have consistent boundaries of exactly how good it is each time.
Yeah, when I trued my wheels, I'm like, I can't say I'm doing the best practice, but I know by the time it's on the bike, it will be true and spinning.
As much as anything, the trouble also is that you can start getting a bit too obsessive.
Yeah.
And that's the trouble is, if you're building just one wheel for yourself, it doesn't matter if it takes 3 hours.
Yeah.
But if I need to build 10 wheels for 10 different builds, if I can just say, this is the margin I want to be within, 0.2 millimeters accuracy, then once I hit that wheel's good enough, great, on to the next wheel, instead of spending the next hour trying to get it better and just messing about, which again is kind of which, you see this a lot with frame builders, is that lots of people who start out frame building as sort of as amateur hobbyists really, they get sort of getting too obsessive about making sure everything lines up on a flat table, and is that accurate to a tenth of a micron, and is that accurate to 0.0001 degrees and things, and it's great fun if you just want to do that, but it doesn't actually make the bike any better.
Yeah.
That's the thing, of trying to get this understanding of getting a balance between making a really good quality product that will work and won't break and things like that, and just wasting time.
Yeah, with the Brompton specifically, I think when Brompton made those wheels, they're just straight spoked, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'm guessing most yours look to be 2-cross.
It varies. Most of my wheels are, it depends. The smaller wheels are 1-cross.
Yeah.
Usually. Bigger 20-inch wheels are usually 1-cross at the rear and 2-cross at the front.
2-cross in the front of it, yeah.
Yes.
And what makes you decide what to do on that? Like,
it's a number of factors. It's mostly to do with the rim diameter and the flange diameter of the hub.
Yeah.
So roll-off, for example, specify 1-cross on 20-inch wheels.
Oh, interesting.
And so Alpine hubs are about the same size as the roll-off, so stick with 1-cross from that. It's partly a matter of experience that you build so many wheels, you get the feeling of this kind of wheel. If you have too much of a bend at the nipple, it will fracture the nipple, so you don't do that.
Oh, fair,
Some of the early Brompton wheels I built sort of 3-cross at the front, and most of them are fine, but a couple of them I just didn't like that too much. It just didn't like the look.
Do you know, interesting when I was doing the Di2 hub, like I put it to a company, they'd be like, what do you recommend? And everyone, they're like, oh, just do it 3-cross. They went, if you struggle with the 3-cross, then go down to a 2-cross. And we'll send you more spokes. But I was curious, like, if the hub man, because I'm assuming when Shimano made the Alpha, and they went like, oh, it's going to go in like 16 to 20 inch hubs. Do you know what I mean? Oh, well, into wheels, you know. So I was curious what you did to come up with that science.
Yes. No, I trouble with a lot of this is I trouble with a lot of the bike industry. The bike industry varies a lot between very high tech, people like Shimano and Roloff and very high tech, very precision engineering. We've always done it this way, therefore that's the way to do it. So we'll keep doing it that way. And so some of it that's just experimenting. Things like with the belt drive.
Yeah.
You know, Gates said, "Don't do this; the belts will break." Just try it and see what happens. And it's a matter of you can be a bit more forgiving about things like how many crosses you have in the wheel and all that. And the thing with crossing, basically, this is a bit that's always interesting to get your head around. Is that what matters isn't really the number of crosses it has; it's the angle between the line spokes. So it's that length there that matters. Because if you think about a wheel, when you're the point of a crossing is so that it can pull. Yeah. Basically. Yeah. And so what matters is how long that arm is when it's pulling. So if you think about it, when it's trying to pull like that. So what matters is how long that arm is. Yeah. Obviously a radial wheel like that, the arm is zero length, so it can't pull at all.
It can't go, yeah.
So all that matters is that arm is long enough to pull properly without breaking.
Yeah,
So that's basically all about it. There's an old book called Bicycle Wheel by Josh Grant. It goes into a lot of the science behind this. And a bit that people always hate is Jobs says a bicycle wheel, you tighten up all those spokes, it's not hanging from the spokes. It's standing at the bottom spokes.
Yeah.
And everyone says, but no, it can't be standing at the bottom spokes. That doesn't make sense because they're wire, it's crumpled. But actually, if you look at the tension in each spoke,
Is there anything you think Brompton-wise that's interesting to add in that you've got yourself that's like, oh, people might not have known that?
Not really. I mean, the Brompton thing it's interesting how it's evolving. Because the next thing it's sort of taken off a lot has been things like belt drives, and that's taken off a lot. Next one I'm working on for a few people is things like recumbent Bromptons, which is again kits that can be added onto Bromptons. I always like the fact that you can take a standard Brompton and just bolt a few bits on to change it. There are people who have done some amazing builds to Bromptons by actually chopping about the main frame and changing a lot more about it. And it's really impressive what they've done. They've built some amazing things, but it's not very easy to do yourself. I quite like the idea that I can just send a kit to somewhere in Australia and they can just bolt the bits on and they have a mountain Brompton. Instead of having to get everything done here in Glasgow and shipped and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think it was actually, I got a big response from I think it was the Taiwan market when I did my Emily, like, so hilly here, that looks like absolute ideal, but again, it's, I don't know how well advertised that is to, I don't think there's anyone there probably is people that do that over there because there's such a popular market and all that for it.
Yeah, I send quite a lot to the Far East now actually, which is interesting, so yeah.
Yeah, because it's just insane. Because you also, well, one thing I've not touched on is actually you also do electric conversion. Is it using the switch kit, is it, or what is it?
I've done a few electrical systems on Bromptons. So the one I like the most actually is the Nano system, which is a front hub motor. It's a small British company who do this, and they do the battery and front bag. Two neat things is, firstly, they can do hubs which are disc brake ready. So I can integrate all the disc brakes and different wheel sizes and all that stuff. The other neat thing is that their battery system is interchangeable. It can use a proper electric bike battery, decent sized thing, or it can use little Bosch drill batteries. So you just travel, you can clip them to batteries, but also if you're going overseas and you can't take a big electric bike battery with you, you can just take a little drill battery or buy a little Bosch drill battery when you get there. So I like those systems a lot. I've done builds with Switch, I've done builds with the ARC systems in Cambridge. I've done builds with the Pendix crank drive systems. I've used all of those. So yeah, they're all possible on Bromptons. Yeah.
It's all good there. Thank you very much for that, Ben.
No worries.
Much appreciated. Kev, thanks for the camera in it.
Nice one.
Cool.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. That was from a complete non-techie bike guy. That was most of my head, but quite interesting.
Yeah, I'm never sure because I've started getting obsessed about things like this. You sort of know how to start going on about exact details of belt drive tensioners and things like that. Yeah.
That's honestly the biggest questions I get is on belt drives. Everyone's like, I want belt drive, and then it always sparks a debate. It can't be done for this. Although it was interesting with the T-line, how its hinges are different. I'm assuming that's just the way titanium works and all that.
They've changed a lot with the T-line. So yeah, the T-line is completely different manufacturing, basically because you can't just steel and make it a different material.
Yeah.
Neobike, actually I've got one kicking the back somewhere. Neobike tried it with aluminium.
Oh, right.
And they did aluminium Brompton. And the trouble was, they tried it, and aluminium is third the strength of steel.
Yeah.
They end up having to have wall thickness like that. It's ridiculous.
I know,
It is heavier than a steel frame.
Yeah, because I think that was always Will's thing. He goes on about, it's like, you may not see the change, but we're worried about the people that jump off curbs.
Some bit off more they can chew with the titanium Bromptons, and they end up with problems down the line.
I'm assuming it's a small market that buys them. Like, it must be absolutely tiny, you know.
And it's kind of funny. Actually, I just got an email about half an hour before you turned up. Someone who's been exchanged a couple of emails. He sent me an email this morning saying how light is a mountain Brompton. I said 13, 14 kilos depending on spec. And he just emailed me back about half an hour before you turned up saying, we want to do like a downhill thing. Can you make one at 10 kilos? First thing going downhill, why does the mic?
Yeah.
But also, it's one of those questions like, yeah, probably, but you know, again, it's you could spend a lot of money.
Yeah,
And people,
just to get it to the 10k, yeah.
And I've had people who do this. I had a lovely guy in France actually. He sent me a bag of titanium bolts to build his Brompton. Things like the little bolts that hold the.
I've seen it all. It's like a diet kit. It's like 130 quid. It's crazy, man.
Yes.
And you probably shave like 50 grams or something. It's
Oh yeah.
nuts.
And you can easily. I mean, the standard figure I think is